Good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone. This is the Real Politics live stream at the National. My name is Ninian Wilson. I'm one of the digital reporters here. I'm joined by Hamish Morrison, one of our political reporters. And we're going to go through the day's news. And I think if it's all right with you, Hamish, we can start with our front page.
Yeah, so suck it up. Could be the sort of Tory mantra for Scotland, just for any, covers sort of all manner of sins, doesn't it? Yeah, this is a story that we had, sort of top story on the site today. It's also the sort of front page, most read thing on our website. Yeah, Deirdre Brock was told to suck it up and go with the programme. I believe the actual phrase should be get with the programme, but obviously Alistair Jack misspoke. She was talking about the redevelopment of Granton Waterfront in Edinburgh. Edinburgh Council has been directly funded by the UK government, which the SNP are saying is sort of undermines the devolution settlement, because the way that it should work is the chain goes down from the middle link in the chain is the Scottish government, who councils in Scotland deal with directly. But this is kind of part of what their concerns are about levelling up as well. But apparently the official line is just suck it up, basically. Stop whinging.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably a pretty valid point brought up by Deirdre Brock. I think she said that there'd been a lot of, as far as infrastructure investment had gone in Edinburgh, there'd been a lot of communication and liaising between the Scottish Government, Edinburgh City Council, and for her to suggest that the UK government should maybe CC in the Scottish Government on what's going on, then I don't think that's it's a pretty reasonable thing to suggest. And I think when Jack kind of said what he said about sucking it up, Brock kept cool and said, "Well, that's not particularly ministerial of you," but there you go. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty classic Tory line on what's going on in Scotland.
Yeah, they should just have that sort of like on file to copy and paste, just whenever it's needed. I think that kind of sums up their attitude. It's the sort of same response that we've had about Brexit with any sort of concerns about overruling devolution or anything like that. It's pretty standard stuff. The other big news today is obviously that the Network Rail strikes have begun. They're taking place today, Thursday and Saturday. There are only 5 routes running in the whole of Scotland.
Yeah, and I think that on the days affected, they only run until 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah, it's very, very early finish for them.
And
no services north of, I think it's Falkirk. I think it's as far north as you can get on a train this weather. Right. Keir Starmer, who's the head of the party that is supposedly the political wing of the trade union movement, has told Labour frontbenchers not to attend any of the strikes, not to show any solidarity with people on strike. Quite how he's got to that conclusion is beyond me. There has been one. I saw that John McDonnell, former Shadow Chancellor under Jeremy Corbyn, said that he would be supporting strikes, but he's not obviously a frontbencher anymore. Kate Osborne, she's a parliamentary aide to the Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary. So, I mean, that's not, a hugely senior position, but she has applied it and said, I'm a trade unionist, I'll always stand on the side of the workers, with picture her at Bromley South Station in London. And she's there with RMT members. RMT were also picketing. RMT members were also formed a picket line at Glasgow Central Station this morning that our colleague Xander covered in a live stream. So that was quite good if you want to check that out on our Facebook as well. So also looking into this Tory summer ball that they held last night at the V&A in London. There's a great write-up of it on the Politico newsletter that gets sent out in the mornings. Boris Johnson and his entire cabinet were there. They were paying funny money for dinners with. You could pay. Hold on, there was a good one here. That someone paid £120,000 for a dinner with Boris Johnson, Theresa May, and David Cameron all together.
At the same table.
Yeah, I think you have dinner. I don't know if you have like your starter with Theresa May, your main course with if they're all together, but apparently get them all together and have a dinner with them. And it only cost you £120,000. There was also an African safari trip that was sold for £65,000. A shooting weekend. I mean, this is like the most beyond parody Tory stuff. That you get Chelsea and somebody also got tickets for Chelsea versus Arsenal game for just £5,000.
Just £5,000.
But apparently, the person from Politico who was there said everyone was pretty much home and in their beds by 10:30. So not a wild night, apparently.
There you go.
Yeah. It's not as good at hosting parties as they might want people to think.
No.
So yeah, and then also Boris Johnson is going to Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, apparently on Thursday. People think he might be hiding from the by-elections in Tiverton and Honiton and Wakefield that are taking place.
Yeah, like all these trips and like foreign missions, as you know, they seem to come at pretty convenient times. Particularly, you know, he's got a track record of talking to President Zelensky at times that maybe are beneficial to his image when things at home aren't going so well. He tends to look abroad for a new line or perspective on his leadership. But interesting to but he's going to Rwanda. So, but I think that policy does appeal to his base. So maybe not the worst move for him if you're a Boris Johnson fan, but yeah.
I mean, the amount of people that Britain's going to be sending to Rwanda, it wouldn't be such a bad thing if they maybe just like kept a hold of Boris for a while. You get like stuck in some processing centre.
Yeah. So what else are you working on today, Hamish?
I think that pretty much covers us. I think just seeing what comes in as we go. What about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm going to be working on a little piece about the UK government kind of distancing itself from the rail strikes. Grant Shapps said this morning that the UK Transport Secretary said that if he thought, I think the line was something like, if he was asked by Kay Burley, why are you not in the room there trying to get a solution to this? He says, if I thought there was 1 in a million chance of me being in the room helping things, then I'd be there, but I don't. So which is interesting because obviously it's government. I believe the UK government the only shareholder in Network Rail. So to suggest that he's not got some kind of stake in it or some responsibility going, pretty bizarre. I'll look to touch on the Keir Starmer kind of not totally distancing himself from the prospect of agency workers being brought in to basically replace striking workers, which is obviously highly controversial. And so I'll have a little look at that and just see what happens. But yeah, I think it'll be rail strikes, and I'm sure there'll be something on Boris Johnson later today as well.
Lots of exciting stuff.
Well, look, guys, sign up for a 30-day free trial at the National, as ever, and keep tuned to what we're putting out. We'll be putting all our articles out on Facebook, Twitter, and just keep reading the National. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye bye.